Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Walter. Walter, 71 years old, retired firefighter from Denver, Colorado. He came to my office absolutely furious, not at me, at himself. For 3 years, he'd been waking up at 2 a.m. like clockwork, sometimes 1:30, sometimes 2:15, but always between 1 and 3 in the morning, every single night. He'd done everything right, stopped drinking water after 6 p.m., cut out caffeine completely, even stopped eating watermelon because he read somewhere it was mostly water, and yet nothing changed. Still waking up, still exhausted. He told me, "Doc, I feel like my body is broken. I'm doing everything the internet says. Why am I still getting up?" And that's when I asked him one simple question. "Walter, what position do you sleep in?" He looked at me like I'd just asked him what color socks he wore. "On my back." "Why does that matter?" "Everything, Walter. It matters everything. Because the real reason you're waking up at 2 a.m. has almost nothing to do with what you drink. It has everything to do with what happens to your body when you lie down flat for the first time in 16 hours. I'm Dr. Jane, a urologist with 18 years of clinical experience, and in the next 18 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 5 physiological mistakes that are sabotaging your sleep. Not drinking mistakes, not eating mistakes, body position mistakes, temperature mistakes, timing mistakes. We're counting down from number 5 to number 1, and number 1 is the most powerful and the most ignored of all 5. It's the reason Walter went from waking up every single night to sleeping through 5 nights out of 7 within 2 weeks. No medication, no surgery, just physics. Before we dive in, if you're tired of waking up exhausted, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps this information reach people who desperately need it. And subscribe, turn on notifications. We release evidence-based content every single week for people over 60 who refuse to accept that broken sleep is just part of aging. Now, drop a comment. Tell me what city or country you're watching from. I love seeing how far this community reaches. All right, let's count down the 5 biggest mistakes. Starting with number 5. Mistake number 5. Your room temperature is destroying your kidney rhythm. Most people think room temperature is about comfort. It's not. It's about hormone regulation. Here's what happens when your bedroom is too warm. Your body has a natural temperature drop that needs to happen for deep sleep. Your core temperature needs to fall by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to trigger the release of antidiuretic hormone, ADH. ADH is the hormone that tells your kidneys to slow down urine production at night. When your room is above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or you're wearing heavy polyester pajamas that trap heat, your core temperature stays elevated. ADH doesn't surge the way it's supposed to. Your kidneys stay in daytime mode, and you produce just as much urine at 2 a.m. as you do at 2 p.m. But here's what most people don't know. Being too cold is just as bad, maybe worse. When your body gets cold, it triggers something called cold diuresis. Your blood vessels in your arms and legs constrict. Blood gets pushed from your extremities into your core. Your kidneys sense this sudden increase in central blood pressure and think, "We have too much fluid, time to make urine." It's the exact same reason you have to pee more when you jump into a cold swimming pool. A study published in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology found a direct correlation between bedroom temperature and sleep quality. The sweet spot? 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Here's the fix. Set your thermostat to 66 or 67 degrees before bed. If that feels too cold initially, wear light, breathable cotton or bamboo pajamas, not fleece, not polyester, cotton or bamboo. If you get cold during the night, add a breathable blanket you can kick off easily. Don't rely on heavy pajamas that trap heat for 8 hours straight. What temperature is your bedroom right now? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Now, mistake number 4. You're leaving 20% of your urine behind every single night. This is the mistake that makes me want to stand up and shout, because it's so simple, and almost nobody does it. You're getting ready for bed, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you go to the bathroom, but you're distracted. You're thinking about tomorrow, you're scrolling on your phone, you're tired, you urinate, you feel done, you get into bed, except you're not done. You've only emptied about 80 to 85% of your bladder. That last 15 to 20%, maybe 50 to 80 milliliters, is still sitting there. And here's the problem. If your bladder refills from 20% instead of from 0, it hits the wake-up threshold 2 to 3 hours faster. A full bladder for most people is about 400 to 500 milliliters. The signal to wake up usually happens around 300 milliliters. If you start the night with 70 milliliters already in there, you only need to produce 230 more milliliters to hit that threshold. That's the difference between waking up at 5 a.m. or waking up at 2 a.m. The solution is a technique called double voiding, and it's endorsed by the Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and every major urology department in the country. Here's exactly how to do it. Make this the very last thing you do before your head hits the pillow. Not 20 minutes before, not 10 minutes before, the last thing. Step 1. Sit down on the toilet. Yes, even if you're a man, sitting fully relaxes the pelvic floor muscles. Standing keeps them partially contracted. Step 2. Urinate normally. Don't push, don't strain. Just relax and let it flow until it stops naturally. Step 3. Stay seated. Do not get up. Wait 30 to 45 seconds. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Step 4. Lean forward slightly. Rest your forearms on your knees. This shifts the angle of your bladder and helps release any trapped urine. Step 5. Try to urinate again. Even if you don't feel the urge, just try. You'll be shocked at how much more comes out. Sometimes it's just a trickle. Sometimes it's a full stream. That extra urine is the difference between sleeping through or waking up. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Sandra. Sandra, 68 years old, retired nurse. She'd been waking up twice a night for 4 years. I taught her double voiding, just this one technique. Nothing else changed. Within 1 week, she went from 2 wake-ups to 1. Within 3 weeks, she was sleeping through 3 or 4 nights per week. She called me crying. I didn't realize how much exhaustion was controlling my life. Have you ever tried double voiding? Tell me in the comments. Now, mistake number 3. Your healthy salad is sabotaging your sleep. You managed your water perfectly. You double voided. You're still waking up. The problem might be sitting on your dinner plate. This is a 2-part mistake. When you eat and what you eat. First, timing. Eating a large meal within 3 hours of bedtime puts your digestive system into overdrive. Your body has to divert massive amounts of blood and energy to your stomach and intestines. This elevates your core temperature, which we already know suppresses ADH. But it also produces something called metabolic water. As your body breaks down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, it creates water as a chemical byproduct. This water gets added to your bloodstream. Your kidneys have to filter it out, and it contributes to nighttime urine production even though you didn't drink anything. The Sleep Foundation has documented this repeatedly. Heavy meals close to bedtime fragment sleep and increase sensitivity to bladder signals. But here's the part that shocks people. Certain foods are natural diuretics. They make you produce more urine, and they're hiding in plain sight in healthy dinners. Celery, cucumbers, asparagus, bell peppers, parsley, watermelon, tomatoes, all of them increase urine production. And if you eat them after 6 or 7 p.m., they're working their magic right around midnight to 2 a.m. Even spicy foods can irritate the bladder lining in sensitive people, creating a false sense of urgency. A big healthy salad with cucumbers, celery, and bell peppers eaten at 8 p.m. could be the exact reason you're up at 1:30 a.m. The fix is simple but requires planning. Finish your last major meal 3 to 4 hours before bed. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., dinner should be done by 6 or 6:30 p.m. at the latest. Move that big salad to lunch. At dinner, choose cooked non-diuretic vegetables, carrots, broccoli, sweet potatoes, squash. If you absolutely must have a snack later in the evening, keep it small and low in natural diuretics. A small handful of almonds, a piece of cheese, not a bowl of watermelon. What's a healthy food you eat regularly at dinner that you just realized might be waking you up? I want to know. Drop it in the comments. Now, mistake number 2. You think you're being careful. You're not being careful enough. This is the mistake that catches almost everyone. You know you shouldn't chug water right before bed, so you stop drinking an hour before, maybe even 90 minutes before, and you think, I'm doing it right. You're not. The problem is this. When you drink water, it doesn't teleport directly to your bladder. It has to go through a process. First, it gets absorbed from your stomach and intestines into your bloodstream. This increases your total blood volume. Your kidneys detect the increase. They start filtering out the excess to produce urine. This entire process, from your lips to your bloodstream to your kidneys to a filling bladder, takes time, anywhere from 60 to 180 minutes, depending on your metabolism and hydration status. So that innocent glass of water at 9 p.m., when you go to bed at 10 p.m., is setting your kidneys up for peak urine production right around midnight to 1 a.m. And here's the kicker. Your body has a natural defense. ADH rises at night to tell your kidneys to slow down. But drinking fluids too close to bed suppresses ADH release. You're actively working against your body's natural rhythm. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Urology looked at fluid management strategies for patients with nocturia. They found that participants who stopped all significant liquid intake 3 full hours before bed reduced nighttime urination episodes by 40% compared to those who only stopped 1 hour before. 40%. Just from timing. The golden rule is this. Your kitchen is closed for all significant liquid intake 3 hours before your head hits the pillow. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., your last meaningful drink should be at 7 p.m., not 8 p.m., not 9 p.m., 7 p.m. If you take nighttime medication, use the absolute smallest sip of water possible. We're talking 1 or 2 ounces, just enough to swallow the pill. The rest of your hydration needs to happen during the day. Front load it. Drink the majority of your water in the morning and early afternoon. Think of your body as a reservoir. Fill it when you're active and can easily use the bathroom. Let it run low at night when you need uninterrupted rest. What's your current cutoff time for drinking water? Be honest. Share it below. Let's see what the average is in this community. Now, the number 1 mistake, the one that affects almost everyone, especially after 60. Your legs are flooding your kidneys while you sleep. This is the aha moment for most of my patients, including Walter, the firefighter I mentioned at the beginning. All day long, while you're standing and sitting, gravity is pulling fluids down into your lower body. A certain amount of fluid naturally accumulates in the tissues of your legs and ankles. This is called peripheral edema, and it happens to almost everyone to some degree, but it becomes significantly more pronounced with age. After 60, your blood vessels lose elasticity. Your lymphatic system, the drainage system that's supposed to move fluid back up, slows down by 30 to 40%. If you sit for long periods during the day, driving, watching TV, working at a desk, it gets even worse. By the end of the day, you might have 300 to 500 milliliters of excess fluid sitting in your lower legs. You might not even notice it, but it's there. Then you go to bed. You lie down flat. For the first time in 16 hours, gravity is no longer holding that fluid in your legs. It has nowhere to go but back into your central circulation. Over the next 2 to 3 hours, that fluid slowly re-enters your bloodstream. Your blood volume increases, your kidneys detect the increase and start producing urine to filter it out. This delayed fluid shift is happening right around 1 to 3 a.m., exactly when you're waking up. This isn't theory, This is documented physiology. A landmark study published in 2015 in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society had elderly patients with nocturia practice lower leg elevation for 2 hours before bed. The results were extraordinary. Participants experienced a significant reduction in nighttime urination episodes simply because the fluid shift was managed in the evening instead of the middle of the night. The solution is to outsmart gravity. You need to get that fluid out of your legs and processed by your kidneys before you fall into deep sleep. Here's how. 1 to 2 hours before bed, while you're reading, watching television, or relaxing, lie down on the couch or floor and elevate your legs. Prop them up on a stack of pillows, rest them on an ottoman, or put them straight up against a wall. The goal is to get your ankles higher than your heart. Gravity will help drain that accumulated fluid back into your central circulation. Your kidneys will process it. You'll urinate before bed using the double voiding technique, and you'll start the night with a much lower fluid load. Then, when you get into bed, your sleeping position continues to matter. Sleeping flat on your back is the worst position for fluid management. It allows fluid to shift quickly and puts direct pressure on your bladder. Better options: sleep on your side with a pillow between your knees. This takes pressure off your bladder. Even better, sleep on your left side. This position improves circulation and reduces acid reflux. If you must sleep on your back, put a pillow under your knees to maintain slight elevation. Walter, the firefighter from the beginning of this video? This was his game changer. He started elevating his legs for 90 minutes every evening while he watched the news. Then he switched to sleeping on his left side with a pillow between his knees. Within 2 weeks, he went from waking up every single night to sleeping through 5 nights out of 7. His exact words: "I didn't change what I drank, I didn't change what I ate, I just changed how I managed gravity, and my life is completely different." That's what understanding your body's physics can do. So now you have all 5 mistakes, and I know exactly what you might be thinking. Doc, this is overwhelming. 5 changes? Where do I even start? Here's what I tell every single patient who walks into my office. Don't try to fix all 5 at once. That's how you fail and give up after 3 days. Instead, pick the one mistake that made you think, "Oh my God, that's me." If it was the 3-hour water rule, focus only on that for the next week. If it was leg elevation, make that your only mission. Master one thing, see results, then add the next. Small, consistent wins create permanent change. Trying to overhaul everything at once creates burnout. Which mistake was your personal aha moment? That's your starting line. Tell me in the comments. And if this video gave you a concrete plan, you can start tonight. Type the word sleep in the comments. Let me know you're committing. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. We're here every week with evidence-based guidance for people over 60 who deserve real answers. Your nights don't have to be broken. Your energy doesn't have to disappear. You just need to understand how your body works and work with it, not against it. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. Sleep deeply.